think this bounce goes much higher. How high? I don't think we go 130.
I'm saying if we do go positive, we might get positive like 4 or 5% from our 84 open, which is like barely 90.
There's more probability we test 100k range. Now we don't back down to 78k range, which is.
I think we will get some range and some choppiness, but I think in heading into January, I think we'll start to see a lot more strength.
The better this rally by Bitcoin, the bigger the altcoin season rally. I think we get a Santa rally, and
Man said Santa rally.
The content presented in this podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. It should not be considered as financial advice, and listeners are encouraged to conduct their own research or consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions.
Crypto flip.
In this week's episode, we'll be seeing what the Fed has been saying because quantitative tightening has officially ended. So will that mean easing is coming? We'll explore that. We'll also be analyzing what the UK government has been doing because it has officially posted a bill which has passed stating that crypto is property. We'll be exploring what that means for UK investors and what you should do about that. We'll also be discovering what Ledger says is a vulnerability with the Solana phone and how that can impact you if you've invested in that device. And we'll be reflecting on November's close and what December has to offer. We'll also be looking at what sectors you should be focusing on right now. So, before we get into any of that, you know what we have to do. We have to speak to the Dejians of the space. We have to get into some crypto confessions. So let's get into it. Started my journey 8 years ago. First had to lose 90% to gain 900% over years. Went heavy into NFTs, lost most of it. Sold my last crypto for 4,000 euros and went to have laser eye surgery. Crypto indeed changed my life, but sadly, not how I would have liked. I still miss the NFT fam around the globe that got lost, as all numbers went low. What do you make of that?
My man used crypto to increase his vision, but then decided not to get back in the market. I don't know. Bro, NFTs are dead, but I think you will quickly become to realize that every crypto fad will die, and you just have to stay true to whatever it is that
every crypto fad, there's surely there will be one or two that survive, like in the millions.
Which one has survived since like 3-5?
L1s.
Are they a fad?
Bruv, do you want to talk about Cardano? I mean, L1s, bro, like some L1s they're still here, but really they're not here anymore. But maybe. But yeah, that's generally what I think. I think, yeah, it's sad that you lost hella piece, but it sounds like you got something, man. Laser eye surgery is like the best money I ever spent in my life. So if that money came from crypto, I'd be super happy.
I mean, there isn't too much to say. You were in the cycle whereby people were buying JPEGs and, you managed to make a profit, but you went away, you came back, the market had died, and you have to adapt, or you kind of get left behind in this space. So you achieved, a moderate amount of success, and you had something tangible to walk away from it with. So kudos to you, but unless you're planning to, see how crypto evolves next, I think it's probably just a watch from the sidelines.
I'm 50-50 about this because, yes, he got something out of it, changed his life, got his vision back, but it seemed like he also seems like a sad goodbye letter to NFT around the globe. From like, if you're a supporter of NFT, this just kind of cements, not obviously cement in a way like it's official, but like it's just another hit because what it seems to be is that NFT is dead. And like, I think last time NFT was hot was probably 3 cycles ago, and once you go that long, I mean, the one that's making a surprising comeback is privacy, but then again, there's just a lot of red tape around, privacy stuff, privacy development. But yeah, it's 50-50 to me. I think 50-50 for me.
Let's go on to the next one. I grew up in a wealthy family, spoiled kid, started doing drugs early. We had a guy who was getting coke for us via Silk Road. So we're buying Bitcoin for my Silk Road account to buy coke. Found screenshots from that day. We snorted $100 million worth of Bitcoin over a weekend. Most expensive party ever, I guess.
I'm not gonna lie, bruv. You can't look at it like that. Because every time you ever spent crypto in the past, even now, bro, like at today's prices, in 10 years' time, we're gonna look back and we're gonna say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I sold at 0.01 BTC. Now that's like 100 mil. So I get it. Where I'm lost is spoiled kids started to do drugs early. Yeah. If you're a spoiled kid, bro, none of this, the rest of it doesn't matter because you're still spoiled. You're just a spoiled adult. So I'm not gonna lie, we need men like you to start picking up leverage trading. Like, I don't know if you've heard about it, but you should definitely get into leverage trading. I think you'd be super good at it. Just tell me what you buy so I can just go the opposite way. Sound good? Nice.
No, you're right though, Rick. You're right, because you can't look at every single time you made a blunder in the past, like shoulda, coulda, woulda. You know what I mean? You probably would have spent that money on something. You probably would have bought some Gucci, Prada, designer clothes, or you probably would have like done an expensive weekend. Like you will have spent the money regardless. Like you probably, because you were a sport brat. You're still a sport brat. You're still a sport dude, wherever you are now. He's still up. The man is still up. He was born into a wealthy family. Probably still work. He probably still has a stash of Bitcoin anyway. Fam. But 100 million worth of Bitcoin snowed over a weekend. Like, obviously back then, they say one Bitcoin was getting you 1 gram or whatever. Still, come on. How do you know OD? Like, this is ridiculous. That way, this is ridiculous. 100 mil what?
Crypto donnies.
Well, okay, so it was a party. It was a party, fine. But still, but the reason why he's not feeling the impact of this monumental mistake, because I think it is, coming out, I was born in Nigeria, fam. You know what I mean? This kind of money is life changing, but to you, it's nothing because like you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what you guys are saying because you can't really look at what you spent in Bitcoin over the years. Like you have the pizza guy, for example, and he's obviously somebody who's famous in the crypto world with the crypto law because, you know, he spent however much it is in pizza at the time. But you can't really look at things like that. So, yeah. I mean, you could definitely have done something better with the money. I'm not going to dispute that. But in terms of whether you would have spent it or kept it, looking at your life, you were just going to spend it one way or another anyway. So I suppose it is what it is. But welcome back to the Crypto Flip Podcast. I'm your host, Harris King, and I am joined once again with my co-hosts, Ricardo and Deji. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, or hype if you have access to that feature on YouTube. And if you're listening on any audio platform, don't forget to leave a review. So this week has been very interesting because we've bounced back from 84K all the way to 93K. So markets are looking a bit more positive, but we're still seeing some choppy sideways action. What's your initial reaction to, you know, what's been going on in the markets so far?
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna openly be honest and say I had a realization after our episode last week. I went away and I was thinking, and it hit me today. I'm like, I don't feel like I made enough, or I made what I wanted to out of this current market cycle that happened this year. And some more in-depth analysis needs to go into why, and I need to break down my portfolio and have multiple conversations with various AI tools. But right now, the market is in such a place where I feel roughly the same as last week. I just feel like I just don't know what the hell is going on, bro. And maybe that's because I'm not spending enough time in the market. Don't know. But generally, I can't really tell whether we're going up or down. I feel like any historical measurements that I've used to gauge whether the market's going up or down, it's been pretty much opposite. Like the original hypothesis I was going with is how Bitcoin performs after the post-halving year and how the market performs after that. But bro, this has been one of the only markets, the only cycles where it's just not followed the same set of rules. And you can look at things like the Bitcoin, you can look at the 50-week moving average, or you can look at the 100-week moving average. I mean, however far back you want to go. But right now, Bitcoin has broken a level of support that I feel like is important to keep us in a bull market. And based on where we are in the cycle, i.e. December, I'm just lost confidence. Like, November shouldn't have happened the way how November happened for like a post-halving year. That's like anomalous. And even October, bro, like off the 12 years of Bitcoin, there's been 3 negative Novembers. And one of them was last month. How does that make sense, bro? And it's never been a post-halving year. So I don't know. I feel like maybe the institutional players that have come into the space have just changed how things work, changed how things are looking. But I feel like as somebody that's been in crypto and have been able to ride most moves, whether it be in spot or leverage, right now I just feel like, I don't know, man. They got some new kids on the block, and those new kids are just like, who's this old guy, bruv? Nah, things are different now. That's how I feel about where the market's at right now.
Blood, things are not different, fam. Yes, you might not have enough time to kind of be in the charts all day, but bro, the only thing that's more prevalent this cycle than any other cycle is people have more money and they're willing to use leverage more, fam. Because every other day they get liquidated. This man jump back on the horse and do it again, fam. How many times has James been wiped out and he keeps coming back? Like, how deep is his pocket? You know what I mean? But for I'm to obviously, you know what I mean, chime in on this quickly. This cycle hasn't been anything out of the ordinary. Like, this correction we're going through is only 30% correction. And when we had a new monthly open, it was actually, we finished the month fairly okay. We were rallying up to that 3K, and then we got rejected immediately. As soon as the new month the candle printed, we went down all the way to 85K. We tested it, took that liquidity back up again, and now we're threatening to test 95K eventually on the government.
Bro,
it's okay. It's okay. But are we going to test 120? Are we gonna go on that Christmas rally? I don't know. No one knows. You know what I mean? But I will be cautious with leverage because it's holiday season. And I mean, this is when people start going on vacation. This is where hedge fund managers are. They are probably putting things in cruise control. They're not really doing massive purchase. But we never know. That's the thing about crypto, you never know. But all I know is the field is clear for crypto to do something positive. I mean, whether we'll smash past previous all time, I don't know. But now that we know QT is ended, now that we know basically quantitative easing is basically started, but you know what I mean, it's not something that's publicly announced. So they always started offloading the balance sheet. You know what I mean? So I think this bounce goes much higher. How high? I don't think we go 130. Like, it will be nice because then that means altcoin season is gonna be strong. The better altcoin, the better this rally by Bitcoin, the bigger the altcoin season, I think. And altcoin season usually lasts a month.
Yeah, I think we're due to range most of December, mainly because holiday, you get a holiday selling, and not everyone's at their desk. Institutional investors are away. People are more concerned. Obviously, we just had Thanksgiving in America, and Christmas is coming up, so people are not really going to be focusing too much on crypto and their positions. So I think we will get some range and some choppiness. But I think in heading into January, so maybe late December, early Jan, mid-Jan, then I think we'll start to see a lot more strength. And if you are the type of person that has some liquidity on the sidelines, I think you have to definitely pay attention to the charts, because there'll be a lot of opportunity to take advantage of, as I've been saying for the past few weeks. But I definitely want to touch in on November and December. Rick, I think you have some figures on historical data regarding November and what we closed at, and what the historical data shows for December as well.
So for the audio listeners, what we're looking at is the Bitcoin monthly returns from CoinGlass over the last forever, since the beginning of time. Well, beginning of Bitcoin. And what the two things I want to point out here is We're just looking at November for now. So November was minus 17.69%, 17.67%. And when you look through the average and the median of November, bro, like average for November is plus 41%. November should be the best month for Bitcoin in history. Like the first November was 449%. And yeah, that skews the results quite a lot. But generally, last year, November, 37% up. The year before that, 8% up. Before that, minus 16, minus 7. Like where we were for this November is the worst November since 2018. And back in 2018, Bitcoin, I think that's when Bitcoin ran up to the 20K or near enough to 20K. So, bro, like the amount of liquidations that have happened at 17.67% for Bitcoin going down from what was it, 120 to 85,000 or wherever, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And that's what I mean by this market isn't performing in the regular standing of post-halving years. Things normally go well. So if you look back at like the last post-halving year, where were we? 2014, that was 2020. So halving 2020, which means 2021 would have been post-halving. We were minus 7%, but big difference, we were also plus 40% basically for October, which is decent. Next one before that, so 2016 and then 2017, post-halving year. October, plus 47%. November, plus 53%. December, plus 38%. There's no way that's going to happen. Well, not no way. It's highly unlikely that's going to happen this year. And
Wait, what? Wait, you think we're not gonna have a green December?
I don't think we're going to have a green December. Where do we open December at? We open December at something like 90K, right? Or just below 90K.
Yeah, let me grab that information quickly.
Yeah, I can't imagine us having a green December, bro. I can't imagine us having a green December. Like generally, December is up 4%, and for all the reasons you described, where it's like people are away, hedge fund managers are away, and now with all the retail institutions and backers that are in crypto, like them man are off from like the 15th of December, bro. So I can't expect the market to be crazy. I'm expecting the market to be relatively calm. But that's just my opinion based on looking at this data.
What you Bitcoin open at 84K. That's
All right, so
concerning actually. But yeah, I mean, I think we can have a rally where, like, when people are stuck at home and it's holidays, and what can you do? I'm bored. The missus in the kitchen. Let me go do something. Go gamble in the casino, crypto. You know what I mean? We can have a rally where like we test that. I honestly feel like we're gonna make I feel like we're gonna make a higher low, but the higher low isn't gonna be at 93K range because it's showing strength around that area. I don't think it's enough to like give us a whole season push, but I mean, we usually have we've had a bad November, we've had a mid-October. Logic says we should have a average December at the very least. And if you don't, then I'm expecting a strong rally in January. And what? Rally all season March, sell off April, going into summertime. Okay. Hey, I can roll with that. I'm good. Like, I'm good. You know what I mean? You're ready for this.
But I just the question is, which I'm guessing all the listeners wanna know, and based on everything we said, I feel like we don't really have a clear thought. But like, bro, what is the direction the market is actually going in? Like, what is the most probable direction of the market from here? Let's say for the month of December, is it down? I'm saying down. I'm saying if we do go positive, we might get positive like 4 or 5% from our 84 open, which is like barely 90. So what are you man saying?
I think we test 100K range. And right now we are currently sitting around, we're hovering between 92K range to 93K range. A move of, let's say, what's the move to 100K? Only 8%. Like almost just 7.5% from here. That's easy. That's a lot work. Bitcoin can do that. Do we test 105 range plus? I don't know. I think the strength we will observe the next um I think what I saw online as well is currently the odds of rate cuts being slowly creeping up. There's calls for a rate cut. That's not usually good short term for risk on assets, but I think moving forward it could be good. But everything will be clear once we see the like right now we're just hovering around that 3K range. Cool. Can we see a test towards 100K? How strong is that test? Is it a quick rejection? Is it just like choppy, goes back down again and we just keep stacking it? I think that would tell whether we're gonna have a average December or a blow off top December, because I think nothing can be eliminated from the table. Yes, I know that's not an answer you everyone here, but you have to. This is crypto. You have to prepare for all scenario. You know what I mean? Like the best is prepared. This is just sit and spot. That's honestly what it is. Because I wouldn't advise shorting right here. Like there's no clear. I feel like we'll test 100K. There's more probability we test 100K range than we don't back down to 78K range, or 80K range, which will be just disastrous. Like it will be disastrous because that's basically next stop is basically 73K, 70K, and I don't think anyone's ready for that. That will be a huge sell-off. I think we'll probably see the likes of Sui at sub $1, and we haven't seen that yet, have we? Let's see, because like as much as alts are getting ransacked, they are showing some strength. Like other than the flash crash that happened, the lowest he's gone recently is $1.31, and ETH is always gone low as 2,700. So things are all not strong, but I think we get a Santa rally. I think we get a Santa rally, and
Man said Santa rally. Like, if so, Tuclos is gonna go buy Bitcoin like the Santa Claus of Might or Sailor Earth.
Literally, I think we get a Santa rally, and then we'll probably from a high low, and then we keep correcting. I think that 80K range could be attacked again. Definitely cards, but we'll see. You see, just gotta prepare for all scenarios. What do you think, Harris?
I think we're going to have higher lows, but I think we're going to be within a range. And I think the range is going to be between like 87, but I think we're going to be maybe closer to plus 5%. So for the most part, I'm bullish, but I think December is going to be relatively quiet. We might get a dead cat bounce, but I'm not expecting it like us to rip through 100K and just keep pumping. That's definitely not what I perceive to happen. But yeah, I think a lot of what we have to look forward to is what's going to come in the following months. So yeah, that's my kind of analysis of the market based on what sort of happened so far. And some of the markets that we should be looking at, if we just go on to CoinGecko, sort by categories and see what's been pumping over the past 7 days, the top sector has been pump fund ecosystem, which is at 8.7% over the past 7 days.
No.
Then you have payment solutions, which is 6.7, then cybersecurity 6.5. And over the past 24 hours, it's quantum resistant. It's ZK, so zero knowledge. And then it's privacy coins. So, and then if you go into number 4, it's cybersecurity. So those are some of the hot sectors right now. Do any of those surprise you? Or are you going to do any more research into any of them? See if there's anything worth delving into, or do you just think some of them are just flash in the pants?
Well, a man could say they're all flash in the pants. But I think the one that sticks out as like quite interesting to me is the quantum resistant ledger, and I think it's because Vitalik said this week or last week that quantum computing poses a massive threat to Bitcoin, like a real substantial threat, not just to Bitcoin, to all cryptos. And yeah, if that happens, bro, if they can crack SHA-256, which is a hashing algorithm, which works for everything, then Bitcoin is the least of the concerns. The entire internet is up for grabs. So yeah, there's a lot of companies was a lot of crypto that are quantum resistant, and it's only a matter of time before the big boys like ETH, Bitcoin, XRP, all of that become quantum resistant. So I don't really think there's much merit to the whole quantum resistant play right now, because at the end of the day, the big tokens will just become quantum resistant, and it's not going to pump the price of quantum resistant ledger or whatever. It's just not. The pump fund is interesting because I thought meme coins were dying a slow death, but apparently people are still here gambling away for meme coins. But you know what? I've come to terms with the fact that maybe meme coins will never die, just like how casinos will never die, bookies will never die. Meme coins is just another way for people to gamble. So maybe, bro, that's the biggest use case of crypto that we're ever gonna get, is degens degening, because at the end of the day, they feel like they can buy a meme coin for $1 and flip that to 100 mil, because the 0.0000001% of people online have done that. Maybe that's how I'm feeling.
Fam, there's never been a transaction where you make a ton of dollar to 100 million, fam. Unless that's a lottery ticket, fam. But hey, it is literally, it's not impossible. It's definitely possible. The lowest I've heard is turning $8 into like a couple mil. That was insane. But yeah, that's still for another day. Yeah. What was the question again?
Sectors to watch out for.
Okay, you think it's gonna
the breakout from CoinGecko.
So you think it's gonna be quantum resistant blockchains, but what chains are quantum resistant? Because
no, I think it's not quantum resistant ledger blockchains. I think the whole quantum resistant category pumping, I think, is completely unfounded, because at the end of the day, the big players would just become quantum resistant, and yeah, no one else will hear about it.
I was doing research around, like, you know, the top sectors for that Coinbase Ventures is very interested in, and you know, I had GBT kind of rank from sector 1 to the lowest in terms of like market size, adoption speed, technical difficulty, risk, and upside. And the top 2, or actually top 3, or actually no, top 5 is RWA. Obviously, I know that's going to be hot. Enemy's going to keep getting hot, but the adoption speed is very slow for obvious reason. Right? You know what I mean? Technical difficulty is not bad, actually. And then we have unsecured on-chain credit and lending. Market size is 4, which is 4 out of 5. Adoption speed is 3 as well. Technical difficulty is high. Risk is high. Upside is huge. You know what I mean? But the 2 that caught my eye, again, it has something to do with AI, was AI agents for on-chain development tools and robotics data via deepin and the on-chain privacy. I think privacy will always be important. I think there will always be a room for privacy in every single cycle.
Yeah. This list basically showing the top categories CoinGecko is rated as being reasonably well, doing better than not over the last because there's things that are doing terribly, obviously. But yeah, over the last 7 days, even all of the ones that we spoke about last week and the ones that he just mentioned, bro, there's nowhere to be seen in the short term over the last 7 days. And I don't know if that means this is actually what people care about right now, or if it means that actually in the future things are going to change. And the reason why things are going to change is because those are next avenues for people to look at. But one could argue, that payment solutions are always going to be at the top of the crypto wave, right? Because that's basically
100%. 100%.
What crypto is about.
100%. Like, I feel like this is constantly changing. Like, these won't be here next cycle. Like, there's a strong chance we won't have Solana ecosystem next time, next cycle around. I think the more like the standard like payment solutions, L1 protocols, L2, what else? Privacy. Those will always be there, and then the rest kind of just you have the prediction terminals now, like prediction engine. That's something that I think no one's been able to get right. Like I think it's easier to execute that in the traditional market, but on blockchain it's a bit but
these things are obviously cyclical, and they become even more so with the way that the market's changed. So when you see a trend, that's a real trend, because sometimes things are literally a flash in a pan before we can even execute on anything. But when you actually see a trend that's picking up steam, you see people talking about it a little bit before it's obviously reached euphoria. I think that's when it's worth exploring and seeing whether whether it's worth getting involved or not. As for whether things are going to be around next cycle or not, I think a lot of things won't be around next cycle. If you look at the list from last time, it's like if you took a snapshot or went in a time machine and had a look, it would see the metaverse. We would see a lot of things that are no longer around, and that's always been the case in crypto. And even with some of the main categories, some of the main sectors, they evolve, they change. There's new players, or they're just not the same. So L2s, people aren't really using L2s like that anymore. I mean, nobody really talks about Matic like that, or Polygon, however you want to call it. And Ethereum has evolved in such a way that it's become less reliant on L2s and things like that. L1s are kind of set in a lot of ways. Now, how much of a faster blockchain do we need? Do we need specialized blockchains for every single use case? No, we don't. So I think a lot of these narratives and a lot of these use cases that we've seen are not going to be here. So I think it's important to know that. And the third thing to also keep in mind is people always love new, sexy, shiny things. So even if it's something valid and has good use case and has good fundamentals, if it's not new by the time of next cycle, it has a lot less likelihood of performing well in the following cycle. There are some exceptions, like for example, Helium did okay at the beginning of the cycle. Now it's probably gone to dust. There's probably one or two others. XRP came back, did a little bit of a thing, but for it to come back and then reach a new all-time high, you have obviously BNB, Sol, things like that. But they're very few and far between, and even more now that the capital has been so fragmented. So yeah, I think it's worth not relying and holding onto your bags if you're buying things and hoping that I'm going to wait 10 years. I think you should treat it as, this is what I'm doing for this cycle, and you may even have to get more granular than that. This is what I'm looking at for the next X amount of days, because right now it's very rotationary. And something else that is a very changing day by day is the laws in the UK, because the UK passes a law officially recognizing crypto as property. Just want a quick one from you guys on that. What do you make of it?
Bro, they did this a while back. I don't know why the reminder has come out. Actually, I'll tell you why the reminder has come out. The reminder came out because of the new budget rules states that higher income earners will be now paying 42% on property income in tax. And if Bitcoin is classed the same as property and crypto, then you're paying 42% tax on your gains from crypto. So they announced this, and then we all know in January 2026, they're going to start mandating exchanges to share information of their customers with the UK government. The UK government's slow, but that doesn't mean they can't execute. And essentially what they're going to do is they're going to write a script to calculate how much people's P&L is and has been, and then just use that to be like, yo, big man, you owe us some money, and just come after you and get their P's. And bro, with the whole sentiment of the budget chat, trust me when I say these men are coming after you, bro. Like, HMRC are not ramping right now. So yeah, I reckon that's why they have this whole news about crypto being classed as property has resurfaced, is because they're just reminding you, like, it's coming, and it's coming soon. So get ready.
Yeah. Because when I saw this, I'm like, why is Watch Guru recycling news? I swear this is already like there. And then I realized there must be a reason. I was like, I'll find out on a pod anyway. But yeah, now I know what's going on. Yeah, they can write their script, man. They can write their script. They don't write their script, calculate out P&Ls. I don't even have crypto, fam. Like, I'm just talking about it. So,
What's crypto, bro?
Cryptographic ledger? Yeah. I know about that. Right. That 256, yeah? Said I'm not. Yeah, but all of that. Yeah, that's like. Yeah. That's what it is, man. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. That's what it is, man. But say less. Yeah, they can do what they want to do, man. Like UK, when it comes to money, when it comes to collecting tax, that's one thing UK is good at, fam. I mean, they might be slow at innovation. They might not be the top 25 destination for IPO as in anymore. But when it comes to taxing people and staffing innovation, they're very good at that. So, but I know Harris is laughing though.
Yeah, you need that second passport, and you definitely need a different tax residence if you're a UK citizen, because it's definitely getting peak. Yeah, I mean, look, if they're gonna tax it at 40-something%, it's just yeah. You just need to look at other avenues, but just hoping that they're not gonna come after you is just not gonna work. This is not 2012. This is not 2016. Like, things are advancing, and they know that there's a lot of money in this space, and they want a piece of it, even though they didn't work for it. But that's another discussion for another time. But yeah, I think this will probably drive some people away. It might be the straw that breaks the camel's back for some people. I funnily enough, I saw an investor, like a traditional investor, make a comment on X, and they said the UK is currently at a crossroads. It needs to pick what it wants to be. Either it goes down the Scandinavian route where, okay, cool, you tax a lot, but you're getting the benefits in terms of the services to an equal amount, or it needs to go another way. And I think that other way is like the US way, or some Middle Eastern country way, where you're not taxing, you allow sort of a bit more of a free market, and then, you're not getting as many public services at the same time. So you can't tax people when they're not earning that much. It's going to break at some point. So I think we're approaching that, and we'll soon see. But to that point, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.